Go. All right, cool. Well, it looks like we've leveled out a little bit, so I am gonna go ahead and kick us off. Thanks to everybody who's hanging out with us today. My name is Sam Trimble, Vice President, Strategic Growth and Development, right here at FNF, and alongside me is the one and only Mike Simon, CEO and founder of one of my absolute favorite products in years. Really excited. It's been a long time coming for us to be able to release this directly to our clients, so I'm really excited about this. For those of you that don't know Mike, Mike came from the Realogy world, so he's actually been deeply embedded in the real estate industry for the majority of his career. So he's one of us. He was most recently, prior to developing, releasing, and founding AgentBrief, which is what we're going to talk about today. He was with List Reports, where they created some really incredible technology. One of those pieces is actually a piece that helps this incredible product, AgentBrief, work. So just to give you a little bit of background about why we're here today from my perspective, for those of you that don't know me well, yes, I am a recovering realtor, but post my full-time realtor days, I got into the title business in Texas and New Mexico. We had a team of salespeople, and one of the things that I started looking for was some type of prospecting tool for title reps, and there wasn't really anything that existed at that time. And so we kind of piecemealed together and nuts bolted and together our own little thing where we would go into the MLS and we would create a report once a week, and then we would use that report and go into Microsoft Access and turn it into data that was segregated, the type of deals that were going on, who was closing them, where they were closing, that kind of stuff. It was a lot of work, but I also know we were the only people doing it. It took a lot of time and it took a lot of money. And so today, what we're going to be talking about is Mike's product, AgentBrief, which fills, and I'm going to toss it over to him in a second, but it fills a lot of needs. And so what we're working on right now, myself and my team that I work alongside, Ashley and Megan and Casey and everybody else, is creating an FNF agent kind of tech stack. And so what are the things that we're hearing as we're meeting with title agents all over the country that you guys need? And one of the first things that I really think is of value is prospecting. If we don't have deals coming in the top of that funnel, then a lot of the rest of the stuff, CRMs and follow-up tools and stuff, isn't going to matter if we don't have deals, right? So that's why I wanted to start here. There's a couple things to think about when I think about AgentBrief. One of the things we need to prospect effectively is data, right? We need accurate data. Who's doing deals? When are they doing deals? Who are they closing with? Potentially, who are the loan officers? Maybe you have a relationship there that you can leverage. And I want to put in perspective real quick what real estate data even means. In the real estate world, the data that we get comes from everywhere, and Mike will definitely speak to that. But one of the things to remember is that real estate data is particularly directionally correct. It's not about being 100% all the time. And one of the reasons I say that is, a deed could be filed with a county clerk's office, and if the person that stamped their company stamp on there with the file number didn't wet that stamp enough, there's a chance that it won't be picked up exactly which company that closed with. It could be something really as small as that. So when you start thinking about real estate data, put yourself in the mindset that it is directionally correct, it is pointing you in the right direction, and if it is timely and as accurate as possible, that's what we're looking for. The problem with real estate data that Mike has really worked hard to come up with an incredible solution that we're about to show you is making it actionable. Okay, I get a bunch of data. What the heck do I do with that data? So being proactive and impactful with the touch points that you have opportunities for based on that data. And then what do you say, right? So I figure out somebody's doing a deal. They've just listed a new property or it just went under contract. I want to contact them. What do I say? Mike has a solution for that as well. And more than anything, a shifting market and any market, and you guys have probably heard me say this a lot, is absolutely a battle for conversations. And AgentBrief is a tool that checks every box that I just said. It's accurate, timely data, shows you ways to really create meaningful conversations in a genuine way at the time that it matters most. So that's my little pitch about what we're going to be talking about today. And with that, I know, Mike, you probably have a screen to share and want to do a little intro.
I do.
We're really excited to show you this product, AgentBrief, and then at the end, we'll talk about how we have some pretty awesome exclusive pricing opportunities that's super, super affordable for FNF agents as well. So, Mike, you want to kick us off? All right, let's do it.
I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if we can all see it. Everybody, do you see my phone, Sam?
Yep, I got your phone. And by the way,
Great.
if anybody has any questions during, feel free to drop that in the chat or the Q&A, and I'll keep track of those so you don't have to, Mike.
No worries. Thanks.
Awesome.
So hi, everybody. I am the most unlikely tech entrepreneur. You could probably tell by my hair. I've been in the real estate business a long time. But before I got into the real estate business, I actually worked summers for my dad, who's an attorney on Long Island, and he was in the title business. So when I showed my dad this product for the first time, he has no clue what it does because he's 88. But he does take credit for it because he got me into the title business, according to him. So this has been a family affair. And to Sam's point, this is a product that comes from a lot of experience. And dealing with real estate agents for as long as I have, I can say this: we're in the relationship business above all else. Everything starts and ends with the relationship when you're dealing with real estate agents. They value them, they rely on them, they care about them, they want to feel special. That's what I mean by the relationship business. And if you can accomplish that task and do it effectively, then business will follow. So we had to worry about how do we use data to create more relationships. Second, Sam was right on. One of the things we noticed about data is that most providers will just dump a whole bunch of data in your lap, and they will tell you, you figure out what's important, you figure out how to use it, what to do. You figure out if you're going to use it for any other source or any other purpose, you have to get a bunch of other platforms to do that as well. And we try to solve for that, first by putting it in a mobile app. And second, there's also a desktop version of this. But when you think about a mobile app, think about how title reps do their business. They do their business not sitting behind a desk, but they're out in the field, meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies. That's what they do. So what good is data, and what good is alerts, and what good is the ability to communicate if it's not with you at all times? So one of the reasons we put it on the mobile app was, one, portability and accessibility, but also, quite honestly, apps are so much easier to use than desktop versions of anything. They're like the Rolls-Royce experience. So I'm excited to show you what the app can do. Sam, you'll be taking questions. Please interrupt me, Sam, because I can't see anything besides my screen. So if there's something that comes up that you want me to address, please just interrupt me.
Absolutely.
So guys, we're looking at the home screen of AgentBrief. And to search for real estate agents, the first thing you got to do, and since I'm down here, I'll do this. Let's just start with Palm Beach County, Florida. This is where I am. And we're looking now at every agent in Palm Beach County, Florida, came back in that search in an instant. And what you're seeing here is just a summary of the agent's production. That's actually, for the first part of our app, that's all you need to know. I want you to be completely confident that if you go behind any one of these agents, all their data is going to exist. Everything on the list side, everything on the buy side, their transactions, and even some reference to which title companies they happen to be using. So I don't want you to be mistaken that all we're showing you is summary data, and that's enough. It may be enough for some of you. If you want more data, trust me, it's there, and you're able to export anything you want off of our app, something none of our competitors allow you to do. You can download it into a CSV and upload it anywhere you want. But what are we doing first? So now that we see all these agents, you're going to be looking for the agents that matter most to you. First group is going to be agents that you know and have done business with. Why? Because you want to do a better job of retaining them and growing your share of wallet with each one of them. On the other side, you want to identify agents that you would like to know for acquisition purposes. So you're looking through here, they're pretty much only numbers you need to make that part of the decision is really what is their production, and do they have enough production that it's going to be worth my time to monitor this agent's activities and reach out to them to try and develop a relationship. So either one, you simply just click the follow button. We ask you, is this a new prospect or a known agent? I'll say it's a prospect, and your job is done for part one. And what do I mean by that? When you follow an agent, think one-sided social media, meaning you follow the agent does not need to respond, doesn't need to accept you, doesn't need to acknowledge you, does not get an invitation, actually has no idea that a title rep is actually following them until such time as that rep reaches out and starts communicating. So 100% anonymous and invisible to the real estate agents that you're following. Once you follow an agent, we take over. And AgentBrief is now monitoring all of your agents for 4 different transactional events. The 4 events that we monitor for are a new listing, a closed buy-side transaction, and any change in the listing status. And then the 4th one is something that is really exclusive to us, is open house alerts. We get our data directly from the MLSs. We're on a direct feed, and different than all of our competitors, we update our data every 15 minutes. So when we're monitoring agents for transactional events, like I mentioned, and we send you an alert and say, hey, this agent did something that you probably want to communicate with them about, it's as close to real time as you're going to get. And in this very, very funky market, where one day to the next is always different, time is not your friend. So when you get an alert from us, knowing that it is important, knowing that it's close to real time, you want to engage and respond to those alerts as quickly as possible. Let me pause there, Sam, before I go into the others, to the rest of this on the response side, and see if there's any questions that came in.
Yeah, no questions coming in. I would just double down on what you said about the timeliness. You know, a realtor is used to, if they're getting leads from realtor.com or Zillow or OpCity or any of the lead generation platforms, oftentimes they're given like 30 seconds to a minute to respond. Yeah. If they don't, it will move on to the next agent. And the reason these platforms do this is they know the moment of contact is as soon as something happens. So the fact that AgentBrief updates every 15 minutes, which is basically in our world in real time, is really, really an amazing thing. So let's keep it going.
Cool. Thanks for that. So now what we're looking at, or we're going to move on to, is the activities and the alerts. So activities, you'll see on the 3rd tab on the bottom, this is where all these alerts will come in. And this is the difference between passive data and actionable data. This data is actionable. When we identify an agent with a transactional event that you're following, we send you 2 types of alerts. One, you'll just see the little badge on the AgentBrief icon increase. It'll show you the number of new alerts that have come in since the last time you logged on to the app. And second, up on your phone will come a push notification, which will basically say, hey, looks like Stephanie Morales has a new listing at 723 Robin Court, and I can't even pronounce that part of Florida, Puntiana. And do you want to engage with her? You click yes, it takes you right here into the activities tab. And this is really the second phase of what you do with our data and with these alerts. The first challenge that was put to us by title reps was, data is great, alerts are great, but if I don't have easy access to an agent's contact information, it's impossible for me to spend all that time trying to look it up. So we agree. And what we do here is, let's just go to an open house alert. We're going to click on Alex. And right there at the top, you're going to see email and phone number. So instantaneous. And if it's in blue, that means we've confirmed it, meaning this email will get to Alex, and that is a mobile phone number. So in both cases, if we're giving you these options, it's not just to throw data up at you, it's the data that's already been confirmed for you. How that data works, or how these addresses work, is actually pretty cool. reps were telling us, hey, this is great. All you got to do is cut and paste and put it into your email or dial it into your phone, and you're good to go. Seemed like an extra step to us. So when you click on the email address, what this will do is open up a blank email in the user's default email on their phone. So whatever platform, Outlook, Google, Yahoo, doesn't matter. We default to the user's email. So it will pick up the branding, it'll pick up the signature block, and you just have to write the email that you want and get ready to send it. The mindset behind this was, first, why would we give you another communications platform to use that is completely exclusive to the agent brief task? It didn't make a lot of sense. So when we default back to your email, all the emails come out from your email, all the responses come back in there, and you're not looking in some third-party app to find out where all of your communications with agents have gone. It's right where you expect it to be.
That's where I think is one of the most important things is we've all gotten a text from a number like 880-882 or something. And like I'm on some list, there's some bot reaching out. It doesn't feel personal. So the fact that it comes directly from both your native email and your native cell, if you go to text or call, I think is really, really important. If you're trying to have authentic relationships, we need to communicate authentically, which means not going through some third-party channel, which is great.
That's right. And let's remember that word authentically and hold on to that for a second. I want to show you one thing that's on the screen here, and we'll get back to what it's like to be authentic. But in this screen, you're seeing right there in the middle, it says Orange Coast Title Company is listed on 21% of Alex's transactions. Well, that's a really cool number to know. I want to reference back something that Sam said earlier, which is directional or relational. Because 35% of all real estate transactions that are recorded do not include the title company, this is not meant for accounting. This is not meant to check up on us. This is not meant for you to look at all the business you get from any particular real estate agent. It's meant to show you direction and relationships that exist with Alex, so you know what you're dealing with when you're trying to get a shot with any particular real estate agent. And I will tell you, once a week without fail, I'll get a call from a title rep screaming at me that they get all their mother's business. Mom's a real estate agent at Keller Williams, and he didn't see his name listed on any of these transactions. And why not? My data's bad. I want a refund. It's not about that. It's about what data is actually captured. And if you look at the buy-side transactions, I'm clicking my computer. You click on the buy-side transactions, you'll see that there's lots of NAs. This NA does not mean that something's broken. Doesn't mean that we didn't buy it or access it. It means the data actually didn't exist. Even if it was on the cover sheet that's handed in, 35% of the time it just doesn't show up. So that's why when you look at that 21% number, it's meant to give you a direction, it's meant to show you a relationship, and we can even go further and show you all the key title relationships that Alex deals with. So when you're looking at this, forget the numbers for a second. What you're looking at or looking for is pie slices and colors. The more of either one of those that you see, the less loyalty Alex seems to have to any one title company, which means if I'm a title rep, this is a good candidate for me to go after because he's spreading the wealth all over the place. So I like the way this looks. This is a guy that I will engage with or would engage with. And at least I know a good scenario about all the business he does and who he's doing it with. So with this piece, we ran into a little bit of a problem, which was we had told our users, again, we're in the relationship business. And by being in the relationship business, it means you need to be authentic. It means you need to be original, sometimes transparent. Anything that you can do to capture this real estate agent's attention is what drives developing a relationship with this particular agent. The challenge that we caused, though, is that I do not believe that even with our easy access to emails and phone numbers, that if it's an agent that you know, if it's an agent that you'd like to know, sending them any form of template or form letter or cut and paste text that you've used 100 times before, that is not going to endear you with this agent. And look at this, Alex has 2 open houses today. Imagine if, you sent, even though it's a duplicate, imagine if you sent him the same message for both emails. He's going to smell out that this is a form letter, that it's automated, and that will absolutely turn them off. Okay. The second thing is about speed. We put it in a mobile app so it's accessible anywhere, and we don't believe that it should take you any more, hold your seats, for 15 seconds to actually respond to any of our alerts. And I hope you're all rumbling because I've seen it before. And the rumble is, hey, Mike, if you believe that we should write custom emails every time, how are we going to do that in 15 seconds or less? You're nuts, unless you got some trick up your sleeve. Well, no trick, but actually, this is where we got very, very lucky, in which ChatGPT kind of launched the same time we did. And now I'm going to show you the AI piece in action. So we're back to Alex. He has this open house on Desert Palms Drive. And what we're going to do is we're going to tap on Get AI Script. And in a couple of seconds, ChatGPT has been engaged and will write a custom email for you every time. Custom is important. These messages will not repeat. So you do not have to worry about somebody else sending the same message you are, or you sending the same message time and time again. This is generated every single time from scratch.
And as a title sales rep, I just want to interject real quick. We realize there's lots of products out there that we're using to send automatic flyers and different things to people. And they're getting the same thing with very little variation, if any, from multiple people at multiple companies. So having a message that is uniquely you, that is also coming from your native phone number or your native email, absolutely stands out than them getting an automatically generated flyer of some type, starting to communicate with them that maybe, by the way, is 24 to 36 hours later. So I think that's really huge too. It's a unique message every time. They are not going to get this from any other title sales rep. It is only going to be coming from you.
That's right. So what we did to make all this happen is we write the prompts that are behind all this, that cause this to happen. And as you'll see, there's pretty standard things. Who the agent is, what my relationship to the agent is, an introductory statement, hey, hello, hope you're doing well, but it sounds very familiar because this is a known agent. It would be really silly if we sent an agent that we don't know a very casual, hey, how you doing? Because you've not had an opportunity to introduce yourself. Then we just talk about the property, we talk about the activity, and we leave a little call to action. That all happens for you. Just so you can see what the difference would be, whoops, sorry about that. If this agent you had set up as a prospect, you can see that we write a very, very introductory email, very different than the known agent one that I just showed you. So again, you can toggle between the two at any time. You can set it as a default, but this allows you to have not only a creative and unique custom email, but also make sure that it comes out in the right tense, the right tone. Speaking of tones, we give you 5 options beyond this very neutral, collaborative / empathetic tone that we start off with. If you want to be funnier, you just click on the funny button, and this will regenerate. This one even has emojis. And now you have one with a little bit of sense of humor. So you get to pick how you want it to sound: casual, confident, visionary, funny, innovative, or you can even use the custom button and type in anything that you want. So if you're like Mississippi Meg, you could put in Southern drawl in there, and this will regenerate itself. If you want to sound like me, a New Yorker that moved to California, you can put in obnoxious guy from Brooklyn, and that will work too. It even goes one step further and it can translate for you. So if a user has a real estate agent whose first language is not English, type it in. Type in Ukrainian, Italian, Russian, Portuguese, doesn't matter. This thing will redraft this. And yes, always business appropriate. We make sure that it's always coming out in an appropriate tone. There's going to be no misgivings about sending something in something you don't understand. We've made sure we've checked it for you. So now that you get this email, the next step is you're probably asking, well, can I edit this? Of course. Either of the two blue buttons below this, you tap on it, will not auto send it. But like before, we've taken this content out and we've dumped it into your email. So no cutting and pasting, no extra steps. You just click send. It opens it up in an editable screen, again, in your email. And all you have to do is type in the body of this and you can add or delete any text that you want.
Just so you know, Mike, I had never done the translation. I just had it translated into Farsi and it did it in like a second. That's crazy. I didn't realize the translation thing. That's awesome.
Hey, by the way, Sam, when we built this, we had no idea either.
That's awesome.
A user called me about it and said, did you know that I typed in Spanish into the custom field and it worked? And we were a little surprised. So it was an unplanned benefit that we got out of this thing. So just to wrap up this first piece, you're going to use some of the most comprehensive, accurate, and timely data that exists to identify agents that matter most to you. One of two categories: somebody you know, somebody you'd like to know. Once you follow the agent, again, it's anonymous. We take over, we monitor those agents for the 4 transactional events. And because we're monitoring them every 15 minutes, you're going to get alerts from us that are as close to real time as possible. When we send an alert and you open it, it should take you no more than 15 seconds to generate a script, edit it if you want to, and send it out and get back to what you're doing. So timeliness, efficiency, speed of response, and very, very little labor to actually keep on top of a whole quantity of agents, more than you ever could before, because you don't need to sift through the data for every agent to find out what's going on. We do that for you. That's the actionable side of data versus the passive side. Sam, any questions before I go into the next thing?
I had one that I was actually just typing in. Michelle said, can you create a favorites list of counties? And what I was saying is you can follow any county and keep following it, or you can dial into specific agent, office, or brokerage. So absolutely, you can do that.
So let me just clarify that a little bit. Right up here, you can, sorry, on the home screen, you can search by agent, you can search by their company, or you can search by their branch. So, one search would be Keller Williams. The other one would be, Keller Williams East Side. And you will just get results based upon the search criteria that you have. But once you follow an agent, it goes right here into the second tab, which is your follows tab. So this is where all your favorites are and exist. And as you can see here, not only am I following agents, but I'm also following zip codes. Why would I want to follow a zip code? Well, first and foremost is if you don't know every agent in a particular zip code, this is a great way to monitor it in totality. So it doesn't matter if you follow the agent, know the agent. It doesn't even matter if that agent is based in this zip code. We see a transaction in this zip code. We're telling you about it. That's essentially a new prospect for you. And it gives you blanket coverage of that area. So the first thing that people said about this is, wow, this really, it was a way to amp up the volume of alerts I get every day. So that's a thumbs up. But more importantly, think about it, it's lead generation, because we're monitoring a zip code on your behalf and you don't have to worry about it. So all day long, we're going to be sending you these new prospect alerts. And most likely you haven't followed all of the agents that we're going to send you new prospect alerts for. So that is, again, free lead generation every day. So whether it's retention, acquisition, or lead gen, the app can do all three. To follow a zip code, pretty simple. Click on that tab, type in any zip code you want. It's my Long Island zip code from growing up. And there you go. I followed that zip code. So there is a new feature that we added to this very recently. Just below where it says zip code, you'll see a little envelope with the slash through it. This actually came from one of our users and suggested that since they like to get a daily summary of all new listings, we added that. So when you click on that little envelope, it'll ask you, do you want one? You say yes. And now every morning by 9:15, you will get an email from us that has as many attachments as zip codes as that you followed. Each zip code is going to be in a different spreadsheet. But on that spreadsheet is going to be three basic things: who the agent is, the address of the new listing, and their contact information. So every morning, 9:15, you open up this email, you click through the different attachments we give you, and now if you want to dial for dollars first thing in the morning, this is the tool that allows you to do this. And again, it's all automated. Just like anything else on our app, it is completely unlimited. So if you're in New York and you deal with New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, you don't get charged for expansion. You actually have access to agents in every state if you want it. It's there. We don't gate any of that. So you have maximum usage, maximum flexibility, and all of this, is just something that is going to continue to provide you new opportunities every time you log on.
I was just sitting here, thinking in my former life as a title sales rep. I mean, literally in real time, but in my case, I tried to do something kind of piecemealed it together once a week. But if you really wanted to, once a day, every morning, you would know everything that happened that last day. I now have an action list as a title sales rep of every single realtor that I work with that has done anything in the last day, even if you didn't do the whole 15-minute thing. And so to have a task-oriented and categorized strategy for sales activity and creating conversations every single day that is delivered to you on your phone and in your inbox, it doesn't get much better,
Very true. To Sam's point, the last point is we do have, again, a desktop version. It comes along with this. There's no extra charge for it. You log in exactly the same way. They sync together. I will say this, that for the most part, let's just say 90-95% of the usage of our platform is spent by people on the mobile app. They may not necessarily start that way. Maybe they're afraid of mobile apps, maybe they're comfortable with mobile apps, whatever. But over time, they all gravitate to the mobile app. It is just very simple to use. It's actually fun. And it actually is just so comprehensive that you will find this the most useful tool in your toolkit on a daily basis, because whether you're meeting an agent for the first time and they tell you they've got 30 transactions every month, and you can instantly look up their data, to all the other follows, retention activities, new acquisition activities, everything is going to be in your back pocket on the phone.
You actually just answered the last question that had come in that was asking if there was a desktop version available. Perfect time.
So last feature, and this is brand new, okay, is the loan officer data. This is a feature we just added, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So we're searching in Palm Beach County here. Click on the LO tab. And now what we've returned is a summary of every LO in Palm Beach County, Florida. And you're looking at this saying, is great, but who really cares how much production an LO does? I want to know who they do it with, because those are the people that matter to me. There we go. So let's go to Matt Weaver, tap on Matt, And instead of showing you a title company pie chart or calculation, anytime.
He's got a lot of deals going on.
There we go. So you could see Brett Colby and Matt share about 3% of Brett's transactions. Okay, good information, because I may want Matt to introduce me to Brett. Who else is in Matt's sphere? Where does he get all of his 900 transactions? These are his top referral agents. You see those very clearly in the pie chart and on the bottom. And then if you want to reach out to any one of these agents, they look interesting to you, you just scroll down a little bit. Oh yeah, Nicole Olson, I should follow her. You're right back into the follows tab, and you've now followed that agent. So what I want to point out here, I'm going to use a really, really bad example. If you ever looked for a job and you went to a friend or a colleague or coworker or a family member and said, hey, I'm looking for a new job in marketing. If you hear of anything, let me know. That's just like sitting down with a loan officer saying, hey, Matt, we should refer each other business. And Matt says, yeah, we should, Mike. That's a great idea. And then you have a drink and you shake hands and you leave the table, and really not much is going to happen. It'll be very, very odd if it happened with any regularity, because there's no action item. But if you're developing a relationship with Matt and you're looking at his agent roster and you say, man, I got to meet that guy, Brett Colby, and I know Matt knows him. You call Matt, you say, Matt, I could use an introduction to Brett. That is an actionable item. Just like if I said to a friend of mine, hey, bud, I see you work at Disney. There's a couple of marketing jobs there that I would love to interview for. You have a couple of contacts there. Would you mind introducing me? People want to help. People want to help each other. Despite what's going on in the country, people do want to help each other in business. They feel good about it. They feel like they can share their wealth and their knowledge. So leverage it, but leverage it in a way that you are asking for something specific, not setting up a general referral relationship. So really, really important in the way you go about this. And it's important that you remember that there's actually a give back. This is not one-sided. So you're not just saying to Matt, introduce me to your people. If you decided to, on Matt's behalf, follow agents for him, Matt's an LO. Matt doesn't have this product. So if you follow Nicole and Susan and Stacy and Ben, and you get an alert about them, oh, it looks like Nicole has a new open house this week, and you reach out to Matt and you say, hey, Matt, here's a quick note, because I just saw Nicole Olson. She's somebody you do a lot of business with. She has an open house coming up on Thursday. We should go together, or you should go, or you should reach out to her. But you've now become this kind of central hub of real estate agent activities that you can share with your referral partners. So it's not, that there's a platform for those other partners, but just keep in mind, there's a lot of folks that surround real estate agents that all want to know when there's a transactional event that they can use to introduce themselves and hopefully generate new business. So think about your sphere beyond loan officers, and think about all of those folks who may want to know this. And it's a really, really good way for you to network yourself, become super valuable to the people in your sphere, because you have access to information that they don't. And this is a way to share the wealth.
Yeah, we just got a question from Michael Haltman. Haven't seen you in a while, Michael. Good to see you. He said, in New York, the majority of title business comes from attorneys. Can you explain how this app could be leveraged here? And I'd like to kind of take that one real quick.
Go, buddy. Go.
So for me, there's a couple different things. One, yep, in New York, a lot of the business is directed by a real estate attorney. That said, those real estate attorneys are going after these realtors' business. They are their clients. And so just like Mike just said about the loan officer information, this could be used as a really cool tool if I'm a title agent in a state like New York or parts of New Jersey or maybe South Carolina, where a lot of it's attorney driven, to be able to offer that information up to your real estate attorney clients as a value out of their relationship with you. But the other thing I would say is that I've seen in the parts of the country that are pretty real estate attorney driven at this point, realtors are having more of an input on what happens there. if they ask for a certain relationship, the attorney typically is not going to say no. And the reason I say that is, if you watched the Super Bowl a few months ago, did you see a Super Bowl ad for real estate attorneys or title? No, I saw a Super Bowl ad for the National Association of Realtors. And that just is to say that the impact that realtors are having on the transaction directionally when it comes to the title space is continuing to grow. And I'm seeing it in all parts of New York and in parts of Jersey and majorly in South Carolina. But I think that could be a great opportunity, Mike, right? For a title agent to have a product like this. And my top 5 or 6 referring real estate attorneys, maybe I'm saying, hey, you know what? I know you, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Attorney, do a lot of business with Mike Simon. Just so you know, he had 3 new listings come up over the weekend. Here's the address. I hope this is helpful for you. So I think it could be really kind of helpful in that way as well.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, let me ask a question, or maybe you can ask it of Mike. Was his question about that, or about that you have lots of real estate attorneys who are customers of F&F?
So the way he was at, in New York, the way it typically works a lot is a realtor will list the property. They'll go under, and when they go under contract, a real estate attorney gets involved, and they're typically the one directing the business to a title company, not the realtor themselves. And so that's why I think the value add of providing the information to some of your clients, I think, is really cool. But then also being able to, potentially create those realtor relationships, because again, NAR may change. If you've heard of Area, there's a new competitor coming up. Mauricio Mansky's putting together. But realtors, I don't think, are necessarily going anywhere. And so I still think it can be a pretty big opportunity. And then one of the last things I wanted to say, Mike, if you scroll up just a teeny bit there, so and go back to the agent side. So I'm picking a county, and then I am either searching an individual agent or an agent's office or a particular brokerage. I can sort by price if I want, and I'm sorting by top listing agents, either the last 12 months or 90 days, or top buy-side agents, either the last 90 days or 12 months. And that beautiful little blue button at the top right corner, I cannot personally understate how important that button is. Are you doing like an update or something? Oh, yeah. So
that's what happens.
The fact that you can export all of this data. If I'm in El Paso, Texas, and I want to know who the top 150 listing agents are, I can search it in here over the last 12 months, click export. I now have a CSV file with the contact information, property information, everything I could want to know about that. There are some other products out there that are a little less giving when it comes to the exportation of data. But one of my favorite things about AgentBrief is if I wanted to create a mailing list, if I wanted to send this out as a CSV to my entire sales team so we can really see in hard numbers who's doing the deals right in our area, in a zip code or wherever, I can actually do that. And Mike, you have not placed a limit on that. Is that correct?
No, sir.
So to me, having the data right in front of me in real time on my phone or desktop, if you prefer, I'm a phone guy, that is actionable. And if I can't figure out what to say, it will help me create what to say. I will deliver that message from my native, authentic self, not a spam bot number or a generic email. And it's done in real time. And so as a former title sales rep and title sales rep manager at an independent title company, having a tool like this at my disposal would have been an absolute game changer. So I don't know if there's anything else you want to go over real quick before we.
One more thing, Sam. Remember in the beginning, Sam had mentioned, that data should be used directionally because real estate data is sometimes not reliable. We think our data is as close to accurate, perfectly accurate as you can get, because we don't take one data source. Our data platform allows us to take feeds from multiple data sources, compare them to each other, and then ultimately decide which is the most accurate, which is the most current. However, there are times that you may be looking at our data and say, something doesn't look right to me. And one lesson that was taught to me by an executive, a high-level executive in the industry said, Mike, if you don't focus on answering questions and dealing with concerns or dealing with data inaccuracies, you're just like everybody else. So that little question mark that's going to be at the top of every page, this is where we recognize that the best way for our data to get better is when people tell us what's wrong. They don't freak out. We don't ignore them. just tell us what you see and we can look into it. So we added this see something, say something feature. You select a category of what the problem is. Okay. You attach a screenshot to it, describe the issue shortly, and then hit submit. And the beauty of this is not in our CS loop. This email will go directly to me, our head of product, and our head engineer. Those are the only three people that you need to communicate with. If you see a data problem, we can fix it. So we appreciate the feedback. We encourage the feedback. The more feedback we get, and thankfully we don't get that much because the data is pretty good, but when we do, it usually identifies something that we missed and we have an opportunity to improve it. So we're in this together. It's not just we're sitting here selling you software, but we want the data to be as good as it can be, and feedback from the field gets us there. Just to talk to you about the pricing, just so you're all aware, our retail rate for an individual user is $144 a month. That's what we were selling it for last year. No real problems doing that.
But your black eye that I gave you when we had our pricing conversation of what
I was going to say, I got
heal.
strong-armed into offering you guys a really, really preferred rate. You won't see a lower one out there. We're not trying to compete with you guys offering a lower price. So you guys will have it at $69 a user. Now, for $69, it does come with an annual contract, but honestly, you're paying for 6 months and you're getting for 12, and this data is always going to be useful. The LO data on the other side is a $20 upgrade, but that's month to month. So if somebody wants to try the LO data out for a month, likes it, great, they can keep it. If they want to get rid of it, no problem, we'll cancel it at any time. So the max you're looking at is $89 a month. It is really rock bottom pricing, but the value that you're getting from us, it's like 10 products in one. And that's what we're really super excited to have you guys support and present this to your agents. We rely on you, which is why you will never find anybody else that you need to talk to when you guys are referring people to us other than me. So that may be good, that may be bad, I can't tell you, but just know that I will be the one person that you need, that your agents will be speaking to. It's only me.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for being here. And the last piece would be anybody who is interested in having a little bit of a one-on-one demo and wants to dive deeper, please either reach out to your F&F rep, or there's a specific link that will allow you to get access to Mike's calendar. Your rep or myself would love to be along for the ride, but if you'd like to reach out to Mike individually and make sure you get that F&F discounted pricing as being a part of the F&F family of companies, you can head over. I have the link embedded in my little microsite at the bottom. If you head over to risingtidementality.com, and I'll put that in the chat here to everybody, risingtidementality.com. And if you go to the bottom of that page, you'll see a link directly into Mike's calendar. So it's kind of a neat way to be able to schedule some time with him. If you'd like to do it with your sales team, for example, poke holes, ask questions. Mike is all about that. But I can tell you right now, when I started working with Mike on this product over a year ago at this point, it was something that made me really excited. Had something like this been available for me and my sales team when I was leading a team of salespeople, it would have given us some direction every single morning and throughout the day for meaningful conversations when they matter most, in a really powerful and authentic way. So I think it's one of the coolest products I've seen in a very long time. Mike also threw his email, and I'll put this you put it just in ours. I'll throw that in the everyone one.
Oh, thanks.
Mike's email is in there as well. And at the bottom of the website I just entered, if you swipe right down to the bottom, you can schedule a demo yourself. Thank you so much for being a part of the Fidelity National Financial family of companies. We are deeply appreciative for your business, and we're glad to bring you products like this at pricing that absolutely cannot be beat. You got any questions? Reach out to me, reach out to Mike, reach out to your sales rep. Thanks for hanging out, Mike. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody has a great day, and let's keep this thing going, man.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, everybody.
See y'all later. Bye-bye.